Most traders lose money because they wing it every single day. They don't have a routine, they don't have a plan, and because they don't have a plan, because they're winging it every day, they will eventually burn out. And I'm going to show you my exact daily routine that I use every single day before the market opens and after the market closes to stay consistent and profitable. Oftentimes in life, guys, the simplest things end up being the most profitable. So let's dive in. So first thing, as soon as I wake up, that thing goes off on my phone, right? You hear a classic sound of your iPhone alarm, you wake up, and in the past, I would often press snooze, but the snooze was set so it rings again 2 minutes later, right? That's what I would do in the past. These days, as soon as it rings, I have trained myself now to just like physically get up, because once I physically get up, I'm up, right? Oftentimes, you're laying down, you want to press the snooze, and I did that so many times in the past. I can, care to tell you about. But now you just get up. So as soon as I get up, I go to the washroom, I do my things, I take care of myself, I freshen up. But then I also do some affirmations. This is something more recent that I've started incorporating that I didn't really do in the past. But there's one thing I've realized is rather than listening to yourself, you should tell yourself every morning. Does that make sense? Try to just understand what I'm saying here. Rather than listening to yourself or your inner voice telling you this, that, the other, you'd start talking to it. So first thing I do in front of the mirror, right? I go there, kind of just, pump myself up a little bit, say some nice things to me. And again, say whatever you want to say to yourself or not. But that's what I would do every morning. So I'm starting my day with some gratitude and with some positivity about how I feel about myself, right? Next step is I'll go up into my balcony while my coffee is getting made, right? I go in the balcony, I take a couple of the books that I'm reading at that time, take them to the balcony and grab my coffee, and then I read something positive, right? It could be a spiritual text, it could be a religious text, it could be the Bible, it could be any other text, right? I have several different books that I read, which are called a page of day books. If you're like me, who doesn't really sit down and read all day long, to get in the good habit of reading is to get books that are like a page a day. Or in Christianity or in the Bible, you would have the devotionals, right? That devotional for that specific day. And I've only read maybe 5 pages, right? And reading 5 pages, each page is like a half a minute, right? So 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, I've read 5 pages. Now, why do I do that? Because now, before anything else feeds anything to my brain, because I just woke up, I said nice things to myself, I grab my coffee, I go to my balcony with those books. Now, the first things that are going to be fed into my brain are positive thoughts, right? Our thoughts about myself, our thoughts about God, our thoughts about universe. So I'm feeding myself. I'm starting the day on a good note. Whereas in the past, after pressing snooze, right, eventually you wake up, first thing, you're opening Twitter, and I'm like, oh my God, this person this did, that person did that, oh no. And then you read the comments, oh my God, this, right? So like, that's what 99% people do. If not Twitter, they'll be on CNBC or CNN, the market's doing this, tariffs this, the world that. And now you've just entered and started the day with negativity already in your mind. How do you think the rest of the day is going to go? And if you're wondering, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel not optimistic today? Why do I feel pessimistic? Maybe it's the information you've consumed in the morning. So first thing, start my day with positivity, right? Read a verse, read a passage, read a devotional, read some positive thing, read an inspirational book, read Prepping for Success, read Master the Trader Within. Start your day with some good information, right? And again, I don't care about your religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs, right? They're personal to you. But even whatever, regardless of your beliefs, right? Even in the Bible, in the Proverbs, it say what? Honor the Lord with your first fruits. So it doesn't mean that you need to like give money. It doesn't mean you need to like tithe, although those are good things to do, right? But can I just give my first few minutes to the universe, to God, to start the day? That's why I do it, right? So I'm giving my first, 10 minutes of the day to a higher power that's outside of me. That teaches me the humility and the humbleness to be in control. All right, now I've done all of that. I've done the reading. I've grabbed my coffee. I come to my trading desk. As soon as I come to my trading desk, I do what I broke down in the last video, which is start building the watch list, right? We go through the carryover list. We go through our gap list. We go to what's hot today, what stocks people are looking at today. And then I'll look at my long-term positions or my swing trades. How are they doing this morning? Do I need to adjust anything, right? Then once I've built my watch list, then I live stream myself trading every single day in the live trading chat room. Again, if you want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description for a trial for a week. Come join us. So there you'll be seeing me talk about the watch list in front of people. From 9 to 9:30, I break it down. Here's why I'm looking at this stock. Here's why I'm looking at that stock. Live streaming in the chat room has personally made me a better trader. Because think about it, I come every single morning, do the same exact thing every single day, and I'm breaking my thoughts down. Now, as I'm breaking it down to you guys, I'm also breaking it down for me. It's getting clear for me because now I have to explain everything. Why do I like it? Right? Why do I not like it? Repetition is the key. And since I've been doing this for like 15 years, I keep repeating myself every single day, and eventually that becomes part of my identity. So once I've done that, once I've picked my favorites, I'm streaming every single day. I trade from 9:30 to 11. If I've had a great day, if I've hit my profit target for that day, I'll stop trading at 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. done. Most people are just getting to their office or stuck in traffic. If I haven't hit my daily target, then I can trade till 12 o'clock. But that's it. No more trading after 12. No day trading, at least after 12. So then 12 o'clock, I'm done trading. The rest of the day for me, as soon as I get done trading, is to journal my trades, right? To put them down on my spreadsheet. All the things, entries, stop losses, targets, what the trades actually did, the results, what if I did something else, other management style, how would they have done? And then I'll take a look at my trades too. Like, did I do something wrong? Why did that trade not work? Was it just a good trade that just didn't work because that's part of the game? Or was it a trade, maybe it didn't work, but that's a trade that just meets my criteria and I would definitely do it again, right? Or was it just a mistake? Was it FOMO? I'm trying to journal my thoughts down, right? Was it FOMO? Was it just because today was a boring day, I didn't find anything, so I randomly made up a trade? Right? What if I saw other people making good amount of money and I was not feeling good about myself? Think about your thoughts as next time you're in a trade or looking to get into a trade. Is it a good trade or are you just making it up? Trust me, that is not what Donald Trump meant by bringing manufacturing back to the United States. Don't start manufacturing trades that don't exist. If a good trade is there, it's just going to show up. You don't have to manufacture it. That's not what he meant by manufacturing, bringing it back to the United States. Because eventually, if you start manufacturing trades, you're going to get tariffed on that by the market. And those tariffs will hurt you a lot more. So take that to the bank. So once I've done that, I've journaled my trades, I've done all the thoughts down, then guess what? I have rested the day to create that balance so I don't burn out. 15 years later, I've seen people come and go, right? I mean, Jared traded for a long time. Jared's not here anymore. But the reason I'm able to stick around is because I get done by 11, 12. So I will not burn out. Nobody burns out trading 1 or 2 hours a day. When I was in college, I didn't really have a life. I was a complete introvert. I still am, right? But then I was so addicted to trading that I would trade from 9 o'clock till 4 p.m. till the market's closed. But doesn't matter if the market's closed because the market's open in India or somewhere else. I'll trade that market. They close too, doesn't matter. Forex is open 24 hours a day. Futures markets are open 24 hours a day. Heck, now crypto markets are 24/7. You don't even have a Saturday or a Sunday anymore. So if you have that mentality, you will end up burning out. And it's not about the money, right? Because I made a good amount of money back then too, trading Forex. I used to manage money for other people trading Forex, right? So there was a lot of good money in there. But I realized that I think I have to give up a little bit extra money to create the life that I want to create. So going back to your why did you enter trading in the first place? Why did you enter the first place? For me, it was always I want obviously the money, but I want the time freedom, right? I want the ability to do whatever I want. I want the ability to travel. I want the ability to literally do whatever the heck I want that day. If I don't want to do anything, then I have the option to doing nothing for that day. But if you were stuck in the mindset that I was early on, I would trade all day long, right? I will sleep when I die because I watch too much motivation content. I'll sleep when I die, keep grinding, keep hustling. It was a big thing many, many years ago, not as much anymore. But that was the whole thing. If you go turn on Instagram like 10 years ago, that's all you would see. Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, just hustle, die, sleep, whatever. Sleep is overrated. No, you need sleep. Trading is a peak performance sport. Do not expect to just wake up tired or hungover and make a lot of money. You might get away with it once or twice, but not a great long-term strategy, right? So I have to get a minimum 6.5 hours. If I get anything less than 6.5, I do not trade. But I like to get at least, like 8 is my perfect number, but I know it's not every day I'm able to get 8, but 7 is like the minimum that I do go for now. 7, 7.5, perfect balance for me. 8 on a weekend, 8.5 on a weekend, perfect. But 6.3 is the bare minimum that I would ever accept for myself because you are in a peak performance sport. If you're not feeling 100%, would you go in the ring and fight somebody in UFC? Or are you going to delay the fight? You're going to postpone the fight. If you are a, professional soccer player and your foot's not feeling great, would you play soccer that day? Probably not, right? So if you are waking up every day and you don't feel 100%, guys, the market's going to be here tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. Come back tomorrow. It's better than losing money, right? It's better than not feeling good about yourself. So the next thing I would do during the trading day is every 30 minutes, I have alarm set up, right? 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, and until 12 o'clock, every 30-minute intervals, I have alarm set up. And it's a silent alarm. It doesn't ring, but it would just go up. A notification will pop up on my phone. It says check in. And I just check in with myself. Emotionally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I feeling? 9, keep trading. 10, all right, continue on. 8, keep going. Anything less than 8, I have a physical thing in my plan, which I've given to other of my students as well to incorporate into their trading plan, is these check-ins. If you rate anything under an 8, all I want you to do is get up, walk around the block, and then you can come back and trade again. But if you're not in 100, if you're not 8, 9, or 10, trust me, you do not want to trade. This is a peak performance sport. You're competing with, other traders, professional traders, hedge fund managers. You're competing with all those people, because when you're buying a stock, it's not a magical pool you're buying out of. There's somebody on the other side who sold that stock to you. Either he's right or you're right. It's a competition game. So if you're not thinking clearly, right, if you're hungover, if you didn't get enough sleep, if you're not emotionally there, you had a fight in the morning with your partner, significant other, or something unexpected happened, it's okay to say, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to deal with what I have to deal with first before I bring my baggage into the markets. Okay, so that's something you want to incorporate into your trading plan. And then next thing I would do is the success journal. So I'll fill out my success journal every day. It starts with, what am I grateful for? Write those things down, right? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for how I feel today. I'm grateful for my finances, whatever it is for you. What am I grateful for, right? And then you will go into the next thing. What's my top focus for today? What's my thing that I want to do? If you're just a trader, okay, it might be, I want to follow my trading plan 100% today. I will only take trades that meet my checklist, right? That could be a to-do list. I will track my trades and journal them after the markets close. Do all those things, right? And then in the evening, so my day has gone by, and the rest of the day, since I'm done at 12 o'clock, majority of the day is going to be filled with, either podcasts that I'm invited on, I'm being a guest on a podcast, maybe I'm doing that, maybe it's a book I want to read, or maybe I want to watch a podcast, somebody else's podcast, maybe I'm watching it, right? Maybe I go down to the simulator or driving range, shoot some balls, get it out of my system. And I've recently been learning how to play piano. Not as good right now. I got the right hand down, not able to get the left one, but maybe I'm practiced that. But the key is, how will you ever burn out if you call it quits at 12, right? So you have to focus on quality over quantity. It's not about the hours you put in to your job. It's about the quality of those hours you put in. I'd rather put 1 or 2 focused hours than 4 hours of doing random stuff. So that could be the rest of the day. Play the piano, go play golf, maybe do some more reading, maybe grab coffee with a friend, maybe meet a friend for lunch or dinner. There's a couple clubs here that I'm a member of. They always have something going on in the club, like a wine and a sip night or paint night, or they got the mixer going on. They got always something going on. So if I feel like a little bit social, I can always go out, right? So you have the option. Now, I have specifically put in my trading day because I realized that there's a power of community. Because, guys, trust me on this, left to my own devices, I could be in my home and I don't need anybody or anything, right? Not only I'm an introvert, but I'm an introvert who enjoys his company. I love reading, I love learning, I love researching, I love, doing things that I forget that you got to go out, you got to socialize. Maybe you guys can relate to that or not, I don't know. But I also realized that there's a power of community, there's power of friendships, there's something about being able to just not focus on work that recharges your battery so you can actually work and be focused when you are working. So I consciously put these things in place, like joining these clubs or doing these things, so I physically get myself to leave the house. Because they're left to my own devices, again, as I said, I'll be more than content, right? Not needing to go out. But you need to have that social element. So if you're married, like a lot of you guys are, maybe set up a date night, right? Maybe take your kids out somewhere to do something. It could be just hey, let's go around town. Let's grab a bite to eat. Doesn't need to be you have to go out for dinner specifically. Do something to recharge your batteries, whatever that might be for you, right? For Jared, for those who know, for him, he gets in his car, just goes for a drive. He's not going anywhere. There's nothing on the GPS. I'm just going to go for a drive until I recharge my batteries and I'll come back. Maybe I'll go for a walk, right? That's something that I love doing now. I just got the Apple Watch. So I had like a bunch of different Apple Watches, never got used to them. I honestly hated them. I used to call them consumer electronics because I was like, if you're going to watch, man, you could wear a man's watch, you wear a Rolex or AP or Hublot. Recently, I got one. And the only reason I got one is because it actually motivates you, right? It says, stand up, you've been sitting too long. And now I see it, I'm like, oh shit, let me stand up, right? Or it's like, oh, you get your steps in or whatever. So I put my headphones on. Maybe it's an audiobook that I'm listening to, right? Maybe it's a podcast that I'm listening to, or maybe it's music. And I just go for a walk. That is my biggest meditation, right? And you don't need to sit there and chant Om all day long to meditate. Sometimes meditation is just getting yourself out of your own environment and getting your focus outside of you and your existing environment and just listening to the music, right? So that would be like a typical day in my life. Again, as I said in the early beginning of the video, it's nothing crazy. It's something all of you can do. It's available to you. You don't even need any money to do what I just mentioned, but it's the simplicity in the routine. But the key is not just simplicity, it's consistency, right? Can you do it over and over again? Because my morning routine, specifically the pre-market routine, looks exactly the same every single day, then I don't feel like today I feel off. I don't, because I do the exact same thing. And the day I don't do my daily routine or I miss an element of that, like shit, I woke up too late, I couldn't get my reading in, I do kind of feel a little bit flustered, right? So that gets me back into doing my routine every day, because then every day has its standard, and that's how it's set. So a couple more things on the pre-market thing. So this is something that I teach all my traders to do. It's in the trading psychology course. We do this live in our Evolve Mastermind. And I think in maybe a couple of the YouTube videos, I have referenced this before. It's called creating an anchor, right? So we do this through visualization. We visualize ourselves taking the trade before we take it. So you do this at the night before, or you do it when you wake up. If you're somebody who has a trading psychology issues, where you're not disciplined, you're not following your rules, you're saying, I want to do this, and you keep breaking your own plan and your rules, right? Yep, that one, specifically the one you're thinking of right now. So to get over that is to visualize things, right? So close your eyes, and you can practice with me right now. Close your eyes and just imagine yourself like seeing the perfect trade. It meets your criteria. Just kind of visualize this a little bit. The trade setting up is the perfect setup. And just imagine yourself, there's just no hesitation. You're feeling amazingly confident. And then you just press the button and you take the trade. And then when you take the trade, just imagining yourself, wow, look how calm I am. Almost look at yourself from a third person, like floating up and looking at yourself down at your desk, trading, and look and just admire how disciplined you are. There's no fear of missing out. And the trade is moving up and down. And you're just like watching it happen, right? Kind of like Bruce Lee, like you're flowing with the waves, right? Flowing with the water. So that is something that all of my traders, especially if they have any trading psychology, is required to do. Guys, everybody does that. Watch any successful UFC fight. Watch successful boxers. Watch any successful sports people. What are they doing? They're standing in the corner with their ring. They got their head down. They're visualizing, right? What are they doing when they're walking down from backstage or walking towards the ring? They're amping themselves up. That's the mirror thing that I just referenced, right? Standing in front of the mirror, hyping yourself up. They're doing that. They have the ring entrance music playing. They're feeling good. They come to the corner, right? Usually they go to all four corners. That's just a thing that they've decided to do, right? Now, whether it's just their mind, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why this thing works. You just have to understand that it does work, right? Watch any golfer. Just go on YouTube, which you are already on, and type in pre-shot golf routine. And notice how all the golfers pretty much have a very similar routine. And whatever their routine is, notice every single shot is the exact same. Usually it's like they set the club down, they look at the target. They put the left feet down, they look at the target. They put the right feet down, they look at the target. A few waggles with their hand and boom, snap. They will do that every single time. Typically they'll stand behind the ball, look at the target, aim, then they go. Watch that on YouTube. You'll see every single shot is the exact same. Now, why do they do that? Because they've conditioned themselves that every single shot's going to do the same thing. They've already visualized while they're looking at the target from behind the ball, they're already visualizing themselves hitting the ball. And there was this popular golfer, I forgot the name. So he was somebody who had this routine, right? Every single shot, he did a pre-shot routine. And then one time, it was a big important tournament. It was televised live on TV. He just couldn't hit the ball and he slipped. And after the golf game, the interviewer asked him, like, what happened there? He's like, you know what, I just felt like a little bit flustered, whatever, and couldn't figure it out. And then his coach comes in, and they're looking at the footage. They're like, oh, this is the first time you never ever did your routine. You never did the target aim. You did nothing. You just went there. It was televised, and you just tried to smack it. You missed a shot. So we want to condition the right habits, visualizing ourselves doing it and doing the same thing over and over again. As I mentioned, my morning routine is the same routine every single day. And I know when I've deviated from it, because I will not rate myself 8, 9, or 10 when I've deviated, because I can feel it, right? The other thing we do is anchoring. It's taught in neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. I'm a practitioner of that. I do that a lot, even with hedge fund clients, is creating an anchor for them. Now, what is an anchor? An anchor is just you, when you visualize yourself, you're in the peak state, or in real life and you're just crushing it, you feel really good, you create an anchor. That could be different things for everybody. A lot of people in our mastermind group, they just say, yeah, every morning, right, to start the day. For me, exactly at the same time every single day, 9:28 to 9:29 a.m., 1 or 2 minutes before the market opens, you will hear me every single day in the chat room do this. I'm done looking at my list. Guys, all right, here's my top 2 favorites. All right, let's do it. And then everybody in the chat room will, Juliet, who's a member in our chat room, she'll also type in, let's do it. So we've structured that I will do this at 9:20, 9:29 every day. She types it in the chat room at 9:29 right after I do it. Let's do it. And then that just conditions me for that trading day. It's a pure thing. It works. You can watch when Conor McGregor went to his fight. Who did he have in his corner? Tony Robbins. Why did he have a psychology guy in his corner? What was he making him do before he won that fight? He was visualizing. He's meditating. Then they amp up. They do the ring music. They walk over there. And then he's doing this. And Tony's doing this. Watch that footage. You will understand every peak performance sport has that. And yes, trading is a peak performance sport. So get your mind right and your results will automatically fall into place. So again, very simple routine. Now my question to you is, what is your routine? Type it in the chat, just from when you wake up till you get done trading. What does your routine look like? And again, it doesn't matter what the routine is. It doesn't matter if you anchor or you don't anchor. These are all just tools that I've given you to try out for yourself and see if it works. But the key is not the routine. It is the consistency of the routine. Whatever the routine is, can you do the exact same thing every day? Or one day you wake up, you watch the news. The next day you're looking at Twitter when you wake up. The next day you got to take care of your kids. The next day you're doing something else. Every day it's a different morning routine, you're going to feel different every day. If you want to feel your best self every day, you got to do the same things every single day. So hopefully that helps. Go out, create your routine, and keep me posted in the comments. So now that you know how to schedule your day like a professional trader, you also need to know how to create a trading plan so you can maximize your profits. I have another video that shows you exactly how to do that. You can watch it right here. Click the link down below or just click right over here.